scared, unsure, excited. They are filled with questions and doubts, and they've carried it all into our churches this weekend. They are turning into our parking lots. They are wandering down our pathways, through our doors, and into our seats. All of heaven is cheering them on, and we are being called to step into this exact opportunity. It's an opportunity to help the lonely know that they're not alone. It's an opportunity to meet fearful people at the precise point of their uncertainties. An opportunity to help drifting people who are searching for home and who are thirsty for a true encounter with God, whether they know it or not. This is not an empty wish that some magic Jesus fairy dust might accidentally land on people, but rather a kindness that's filled with intention, thoughtfulness, and true hope. For when we receive them, we are receiving Jesus himself. As their boldest moments collide with our highest calling, love and grace and hospitality are on full display. And the divine life of Jesus is pouring through us from the streets to the seats, all for the glory of God. Friends, this opportunity is absolutely bursting with potential, and the time is now. Welcome to this moment.
What's up, 219 Church Online? I am so glad that you're here today. My name is Russ McElvin. I'm the lead pastor here at 219 Church. We're glad that you tuned in, whether you tuned in from our YouTube channel or whether our Facebook channel, whatever day you're tuning in, whatever time you're tuning in, and wherever you're tuning in. Perhaps maybe you're on your couch, maybe by yourself with some family, or maybe even some friends are over and you're gathering together to watch this. And if you don't do that, I want to encourage you, don't watch it alone. Invite some other people to come alongside you in this journey and watching this. But thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and check us out. So today, we are going to be talking about some family stuff here. See, 219 Church is a brand new church, and technically we haven't even launched yet. But that doesn't stop us from gathering on Sunday mornings just to come together as a church as we build our core team and our launch team. And so we've been doing this for about a year now, but we have set a launch date. And actually, we're sharing this launch date with you guys online, and also our physical campus in the Milford area. And we are going to launch September 10th. And we're so excited about that launch. So if you are watching us and you're in the area, whether it's Mulberry, whether it's Milford, maybe the surrounding areas like Goshen or Loveland, and you're close to our area, we would love for you to come out and check us out live. We meet every Sunday mornings at 10:30, but like I said, at September 10th, we are going live. So I can't wait for that. And also next week, July 2nd, we're not going to have a traditional service, so there might be something small online, but we're just encouraging people to be with their friends and families. And actually on our Milford campus, we are actually doing a cookout, a barbecue, where we're just going to invite families and friends, the community to come and hang out with us at 11 o'clock. We're going to serve hot dogs. We're going to have some games and stuff like. So once again, if you're in the area, instead of jumping online that day, come on and be with us starting at 11 o'clock. We would love to have you. So speaking of launching, when we talked about launching, there was a few things that we just needed really to go after in order for us to launch successfully. One was we needed to have live music, and God has answered those prayers. He has given us two musicians that has just come in, and they've done a fantastic job in leading us to the Lord. So we're very grateful for that. And another thing was that we felt like we needed to reach, we needed to have some momentum, and we needed to reach about 40 people before we launched. And here we are. If you are coming to our Sunday morning gatherings, man, we're at those numbers now. We are at 40 people. So it's been a lot of excitement going on here at our Milford campus. I remember when I first got here, we are what's called a legacy church plant, where there was a church that prayerfully considered, and they closed their doors down and they gave us their building. And some of the members stayed aboard, and I remember they were still having Sunday morning gatherings, so I came to help out and we started with about 7 people, and here we are now averaging about 37 people. So that is pretty cool. So now we're currently working on a third benchmark, which involves recruiting more volunteers to help us launch and reach our community more effectively. Now, at present, we only have a handful of people that actually help us with volunteers, but we need more if we're going to impact our community as we continue to grow. And recently, my wife and I, Jennifer, if you haven't met her yet, her name's Jennifer, we sat through and we watched her sermon on serving. And the way they designed it and the way they said it was brilliant. So I thought that would be a great conversation for us to have today. So these are not my original thoughts, but they come from a church in Lawrenceville, Georgia called 12 Stone, which is also a multi-campus and multi-church place. But see, instead of using the word volunteers, they use the word day maker. Now, what is a day maker? And see, a lot of these principles I'm going to be talking about is for us here at our Milford location, but these same principles can be applied to your everyday lives. Whether you guys are attending a church on Sunday mornings already, or whether you don't attend church, but you could still use these same principles to impact others throughout the community. So what is a day maker? See, so many times we'll go into a restaurant, we'll go into like Walmart or Kroger or whatever grocery store you have, and we go in there with the expectation that people are going to serve us and people are going to do whatever they can to make our day. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. The way the waitress addresses us and serves us, we might leave saying, hey man, that was a great waiter, great waitress, and she just really made our day. She made us feel special. But what if, instead of us going to these restaurants, or we go into these circumstances, even in the church, a lot of times we'll go into the church and we'll be like, okay, our expectation is that someone's going to make our day. They're going to make us feel good. They're going to make us feel valued. But what if we enter a room, we enter to a restaurant with the intention of looking for ways to be a day maker? We're looking for intentions for us to make somebody's day, to make someone else feel valued and special. See, Paul tells us in Philippians 2:4, let each of you not only look to his own interest, but also to the interest of others. Guys, this is huge. See, so many times we go into situations and we're looking out for our own interest. But yet here we have Paul that was given a revelation from the resurrected Jesus himself that, okay, we can look at our interests, but we got to look at interests of others. We got to go into situations where we will be a day maker to somebody else. See, the first point I want to make today is we are called to be day makers. We're called to be day makers. We are. I mean, we just sat there and read, let each of you not only look to his own interest, but also to the interest of others. We are called to be day makers. We are called to go into situations where we are actively seeking ways where we can make people have a better day, for them to feel valued. See, we want to meet people where they are to help them encounter Jesus. And the best way to do that is by making their day. See, we are called to serve others. And this is what Jesus did. He didn't come to be served, but he came to serve others. So we need to imitate Jesus and serve people outside of the church walls and inside the church walls. So we need to imitate Jesus and serve people outside the walls and inside the church walls. So I'm speaking to you guys online. So how can you serve people outside of the church? Well, next time you're in line at Starbucks or your favorite coffee shop, why don't you buy a stranger a cup of coffee? You don't know what type of day they might be having. And I'm talking about even the people that might not be just nice and bubbly, but if you encounter someone that might be, having a bad day, why don't you be a day maker and make their day by buying a cup of coffee? Or next time maybe you're at a restaurant and the waitress isn't on top of her or his game, and you can definitely tell something's wrong. Instead of criticizing, leaving a small tip, why don't you be a day maker and you leave an encouraging note to them and you leave them a big tip? See, one of our core values and something that is going to be non-negotiable here at 219 Church is we want to feel like people belong when they come through these doors. And for you guys watching online, we want the same thing. We want people to feel like they belong when they encounter you. See, most of the people that will come through these doors or people that you encounter are going to be people that have been hurt by the church one way or another. And they don't need you hurting them. See, they have been hurt by people that instead of being day makers, they were looking at people who could make their day. And when they couldn't find that, then they lashed out and hurt those people. See, so how do we change that? How do we change that and become day makers? How can we make people feel like they belong when they enter these doors or when they enter into our space of influence? See, we need day makers that will make people's days as they enter the doors of the church, as they enter into our daily lives. And before you say you don't have anything to offer, we all have gifts. See, 1 Peter 4:10 says this. The author puts it this way: as each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. See, each one of us has received a gift. You have received a gift. I have received a gift. We have all received a gift. And see, and then on top of that, God calls you to use all your gifts, your talents, and your influence to serve others. He's called all of us to that. He called all of us to use our gifts, to use our talents, and to use our influence to serve others, to be day makers. And each of us needs to use our talents to be day makers. See, being a day maker is a chance to live out God's unique purpose for your life. See, at 219 Church, there are a lot of ways to be a day maker. And for the next few minutes, I want to introduce you to our day maker teams to find out what might be a good fit for you and your gifts. And if you are not an attender of our physical location and you're just on your watching and you're either going to another church or either maybe this is your home church and this is what you do, there's still ways that you can use these same principles to go and be a day maker wherever you're at. See, our first day maker team, which is probably one of the most important teams, is our First Impressions team. Now, you're probably saying, what is First Impressions? Well, what does it sound like? First Impressions. See, we have to have a day maker First Impressions team. And if you're not here, guys, you're going to encounter people on a daily basis, and you might see them again, but that first impression of what they have for you is going to determine them if they see you as a day maker or not. But back here at our physical location, or maybe you're even going to a church, you can still use this because statistics, and I know I have a hard time saying that word, but statistics tell us that the average person makes a decision on whether they'll come back to a particular church is made in the first 7 minutes. I mean, think about that. That's before even the service may start. That's before the worship music is started. That's before they even hear the teaching. The first 7 minutes will dictate whether a person wants to come back to the church or not. That means they're making their decision based on when they pull up to the church, they're looking at the curb appeal. Does it look nice? Is the grass cut? Are their cars easy to park? Do they have to walk far to get to the building? And then as they're entering the building, we're also told that the first 7 people they encounter makes a difference as well. And that's why it's important for us to have a Day Makers First Impressions team. In this First Impressions team include greeters, our new guest table, our coffee team, hospitality team. See, all these teams are the front line between the church and first-time guests. See, the First Impression team goes above and beyond to make sure that every guest at 219 feels cared for, that they feel valued, and that they feel seen. This team engages new guests personally, guides them through the building, and explains how they can get connected at 219. They are day makers that make people's days as they're entering the building. And like I said, it's just not for the inside the building, but it's for the outside building too. Your first impressions. How is people going to perceive you? Are you opening doors for people? You know, just taking 2 extra seconds to be nice. Are you buying things for people? What is the first impression? So where you can make people feel like they're cared for, they're valued, and they're seen. Another Day Maker team is our Family Ministries team, which includes our kids team. This team is vital, as most parents want to hear that their kid's day has been made and they feel like they belong at that church and they have fun. And truth be told, a church could have the greatest speaker in the world with awesome sermons and a worship band that is just rocking it. But if they have a lousy kids' church, families will not come back. See, a lot of parents will suffer through bad teaching or mediocre worship if their kids are having a great time at church and learning and growing. And that is why it is important that we have a solid kids church program. See, families will sit through, like I mentioned earlier, through some pretty uncomfortable stuff if they know their kids are being taught and filled. So day makers are there to help our kids feel welcome and to make their kids' day. So we also have a communications day maker team too. And see, the front door to churches today is their website and social media platforms. As many of you guys are aware, I mean, that's how you found us. You found us either through our YouTube channel or our Facebook channel. See, this team that will oversee our communications department will have a Daymaker's presence on our social media platforms. And think about it, in today's social media, all you have to do is get on Facebook, or I think Twitter is probably even worse, and you see how people are just ugly with each other. I mean, it can get crazy, it can get ugly quick. But see, this team will engage with people online and make them feel like it is their day. They will show them value. They'll show them that they're cared for and they're valued. They will use this platform to communicate with both our regular attenders of our physical church building and people that are checking us out online. This is a vital team like First Impressions because it is the front door for the community at large. Another Daymaker team is our facility team that makes our building look great. See, the facility team, they're a behind the scenes team that enhances the Sunday morning experience as well as the experience of any special ministry opportunity by helping with all these things that are regulated to set up, logistics, and safety. See, the facility team helps create a space and an environment where Jesus does his transformative work. See, here at 219 Church, we have a Daymaker outreach team as well. We are the hands and feet of Jesus everywhere we go. And if you're online, this is particularly one that you can take and run with. We are the hands and feet of Jesus everywhere we go, inside the church and out in the community as well. See, outreach Daymakers represent 219 Church and the love of Jesus outside of the church's 4 walls. From outreach events organized by 219 Church, outreaches organized by you guys in your home communities, to connecting with our local ministry partners, and global outreach gives you a chance to meet the needs of the community and beyond. See, one thing that 219 Church is going to be known for is its love of its community. And when I'm talking about 219 Church, I'm talking about 219 Church here in Milford and our 219 Church online campus. We are going to be known for the love of our communities wherever we're at, in the way that we give back to the community. So we have a lot of outreach opportunities that are coming up here in our Mulberry, Milford location. Matter of fact, I mentioned here earlier on here that the first one is coming up is next Sunday. See, we're going to have an outdoor service. And this is an opportunity to invite your friends, your families, especially your non-believing friends and family, because a lot of times people might feel intimidated to come to a church and go to a church service, but man, they love food and they'll come to a picnic. So I encourage you to invite your friends and family to come to this. And we'll need people that'll help us cook the hot dogs. We'll need people to help set up. And also, if you're in the area and you want to come, just make sure you bring your own outdoor chair to sit on. See, and we have many, many more opportunities on the horizon for us to go out and be the church and to care for them. So my challenge today, or what I want to make today, is this. How does God want you to play in the role of 219 Church? Now, many of you guys I'm watching here, I don't know, you're probably spread out all over the United States. I know I have a couple people watching far, far away in different countries. But God can still use you, and you can play a role in 219 Church. And what Daymaker team does he want you on? And for a lot of you guys, maybe if you are going to church, what areas could you serve your church in? And if you're not, what ways can you go and serve your community? So with that being said, let's pray. Oh, Father, thank you for this message. Thank you for this teaching. Thank you for the reminder that we're not only supposed to look out for our own interest, but we're supposed to look for interests of others. Thank you for this message on Daymakers. Father, sometimes that's not easy to do, especially in the world we live in. But Father, help us rise above that and help us be Daymakers. Help us go into situations where we're not looking to be served. We're not looking to have people make our day, but we go into situations where we want to make people feel like they are valued, that they're cared for, and how they think that their day will be made. And thank you, Jesus. Once again, we love you and we worship you. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Well, guys, once again, thank you. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule just to come and hang out with us today. Remember, we might have something small and short for next Sunday online, but it's really just a day that we just want everyone to come together as a family and celebrate it. I know for here in the United States, it's going to be July 4th weekend, and that's one of the reasons we just want to do a barbecue, because that's what Americans do on 4th of July. But if you're in another country or a different area, just still take the time to go be a difference maker. Go be a day maker. All right? With that being said, God bless. Go have a great week. Go be the church and go be a day maker.